Alrighty, so in my previous video, we figured out how to use algebra to rearrange equations. So now we can try doing that, except trying to pick out the stuff from a word problem. So in this, you would have to first find what you want. So it is, a company charges a flat rate of $6. So let's just circle that. Plus $2.50 per guest. So it's saying plus, which directly describes adding. If someone brings 6 guests, how much will it cost? See that. So none of the other stuff matters, other than obviously what you're trying to find, which is how much it will cost. But we know that it will be $6 flat rate, $2.50 per guest. Hold on. Per guest. And 6 guests. So if we're trying to split this up between company and Jane, what would happen would be, it would be 6 plus 2.50g. You can just write 2.5. And I'm going to write g for guests. So that can be any variable, it's just a letter. So 6 plus 2.5g equals 6. Actually, no. Wait. So how you write this down is, if Jane's bringing 6 guests, we're trying to figure out how much they'll charge Jane. So Jane has, so we actually know G. So G equals 6. So you can write this like this. Actually, we're gonna write G for simplicity's sake and just replace it in the 8. So 6 plus 2.5g equals Jane's cost. So say for example, we knew how much it costed Jane and how much it and how many like what the flat rate was, and we had to find out how many or we knew how much they costed Jane, what the flat rate was, and what the increment rate was. So we obviously know right here that this is just simple equation. 6 plus 2.5 times 6 equals how much it'll cost Jane in dollars. So if we erase that, let me just get an actual eraser. So say we had Jane's cost, and let's just do the math and find out how much it would cost Jane. So it was 6 plus 2.5 times 6, which is equal, just click, go, plus 2.5 times 6, which is 21. So we know Jane's cost is, I'm just going to write J for Jane's cost, is $21. So say if we knew it costed her $21 and we wanted to find how many guests she brought. So we knew flat rate is flat rate is $6. That is an F. And increment rate is $2.5. It says 2.50, but 2.5 and 2.50 is the same. So if we were setting this up back the way we did it, it would be the flat rate plus the increment rate times guests. So let me try to make this more like a P or a plus. So the flat rate plus the increment rate, which is that, times the amount of guests equals Jane's cost. So here we want to try to separate G, because we're trying to find how many guests they'll have. So using the information here, we can and like say we had we had how much it costed but not how many guests, then we can rearrange this, and if we do this properly, it should equal 6. Obviously you wouldn't know, but usually if it's not a whole or a very nice number, because like in this scenario you can't have 0.25 guests, so in this scenario it's required to be a whole number. If it's not, then you know you did something wrong. But say, just with this, say we want to move the stuff around. So there's an invisible plus in front of this F, which to get rid of a plus, you have to minus. So you do minus f equals ig equals j minus f. So say we want to find the incremental rate and the guests, or times the guests, then we would just do this. But we want just the guests. So what we would have to do is this is I times g, just remember that is an invisible multiplication sign there. All right, so to get rid of a multiply, you have to divide. So we would just divide both sides by I. Seems my marker's giving up here. We should be able to last the rest of this. So now if we know these cancel out, same with this, like plus minus the same, or just cancel out. So now we know g is equal to j minus f over I. Let's make that real. So we know j, f, and I. So say we want to find g. J is 21 minus f, which is 6, over I, which is 2.5. And that should equal g, which should equal 6. So we take out the calculator. Just put this down. 21 minus 6. Make sure in this type of scenario, order of operations, the divide would come first. So if you just wrote, let's do this. So if you just wrote that, it would actually do 6 divided by 2.5 and then 21 minus that, which is not right because that's 18.6. You can't have 0.6 people. Oop, excuse me. There you go. So what we have to do is we have to put in brackets 21 minus 6 divided by 2.5. And that gives us 6. So if you wanted to find anything, you can move the variables around and find each individual variable if you have the rest. Keep in mind, this only works if you're missing one variable. So in this equation, we had 4 variables. Let me just bring that back. So we had f, I, g, and j, and we only were missing 1. But if we were missing 2, then this would not work, and you'd have to do some more advanced math as well as know some other form that would work with it, which you can then graph or substitute. So you just make sure you have all but one variable. So you can have 6 variables, but if you are missing 3 of them, then you cannot find the one specific variable.